Okay, I'm live again. And today is the 12th. Today's the 12th. I know yesterday I said it might have been the 12th. But there again, I'm cutting hay right now, so I'm not really leaving the farm very much. And I thought I would continue my commentary of what this is and why we do this. I thought I'd continue that. Okay, so last night I finished up like it's probably about 10:15 before there was not enough light out here and I had to go in because I don't have lights on this tractor. Plus I was whooped anyway, and it's probably a good idea to go to sleep when the lights go out. So I went up and went to bed, but then I woke up real early this morning and I knew I needed to get back out here today. So I checked the weather, and it's not supposed to rain till tomorrow. And so that means we have this, which is about 15 or 18 acres here that we need to get raked up and then baled before close of business today, because it's supposed to rain tomorrow. Okay. So haying. What really is haying, and what is hay and why? You know, as I'm working out here this morning, I'm thinking to myself, what did I used to think hay was? And why did people cut hay? And why is it important? And when I started to answer some of those questions, I thought it's probably one of the most important things that you do on a homestead or a farm. Homestead would be more like a farm where you take care of your family and a little bit of your community. And if there was, like it used to be here, there used to be thousands of farmsteads here. And everybody had a little bit extra, and that's what went into the marketplace. But the people that ran these 80-acre farms, they lived well off 80 acres. And you really can. It's just that in today's world, you need a lot more dollars to make things happen. Wow, low battery. But hay was a very, very important commodity for these farmsteads. And that's why, you know, we have this pretty sophisticated equipment here. Not by today's standards, but in 1946, when that tractor was built, you see that the next newest piece of equipment I have here is the Jeep, and that's a 1957. And so that was top of the line in 1946. And when I'm raking hay with that, I'm going pretty slow. And I'm thinking, well, this is not as good as, you know, some of the big farms that I see doing this. But take it back to 1946, and then take it 10 years prior to that. You'd actually have people out here with horse-drawn wagons, and they would actually be raking this hay. They would pull a sickle bar mower with a team of horses to cut this hay, and then they would actually rake it by hand and then fork it up on wagons, and then it was stored loose in the barn. Well, we've progressed. I mean, I'm not as progressive, I guess, as some of the farms around here. That's for sure, because my equipment's paid for, but that's all I got right there, and it's good enough. But why do we put so much emphasis on hay? And here's what it comes down to, and this is pretty profound. You've heard me say before, well, I think it's profound anyway, that I don't believe that there ain't no free lunch. I don't believe that anymore. I didn't provide the sunshine to make this stuff grow. I didn't provide the rain to make it grow. And I didn't make it grow. I mean, this was planted here, but there's also a lot of native grasses here that kind of take over. So the grass that we cut and bale and becomes hay is really a solar collector. Because this grass, believe it or not, equals a glass of milk, it equals beef, hamburgers, it equals the manure that goes on our garden to make it fertile, that equals, zucchini and everything else that grows in the garden in abundance. But it begins here, and the energy in this grass comes from a combination of the sun, the fertility of this ground, the rain, and then the wind. I think the wind is important to move things around. All right. So, haying is a process that, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, or 70 years ago, when that tractor was built, you would have the entire family out here doing it, because this was the sustenance that went in that barn that got people through the winter. Because, as humans, we live off of the animals, but we have to take care of the animals. When we turn our cows out and just let them graze, they will actually ruin fields if we don't do it properly, if they don't have enough. Remember seeing pictures of the buffalo, they would move, they would just keep moving. They didn't stay, on one fenced 80-acre place. Now, I could graze this place around the calendar with the number of cows that I have. And I am gonna, now that we've downgraded to farmstead status, I'm only gonna keep a very small herd of cattle, and I am gonna go back to grazing, and I'll take you through that, because that is a cool, really cool process. But for today, I want to get this raked up. I had to take a break because my tractor is telling me it needs some grease on something. So I gotta get up to the house and get the grease gun and probably get a cup of coffee while I'm up there, and then get back down here and do this. So this afternoon, when I start baling, so I'm gonna wet your whistle on what's coming. I'm gonna start baling this afternoon, and I'll kind of go through that process a little bit more in depth than I did last time, because last time I only got in on the end of it when we were kicking bales out the back. But this time I'll show you the baler, and I'll kind of show you how it works, and what that process is all about. And hopefully by the end of the day today, my goal is have this baled on the wagon and heading to the ClearSpan building. And I'm going to show you where we stored it, maybe tomorrow, and how we store it and why we store it that way. Okay? All right, this is Mark Baker's Green Acres. Remember, anyone can farm.